Good morning, occupied France.
It's the J. Craig movie review. Movie review. Movie review.
1917 is the World War I movie directed by Sam Mendes and shot by legendary Roger Deakins gloriously. This movie follows two young British soldiers as they're given an impossible mission to cross enemy lines and deliver a message that's going to stop 1,600 men, as well as one of the soldiers' brothers, from walking into a trap. Now, again, there hasn't been a lot of World War I movies that I can really recall, and I'm going to say right up front, and I don't know if this is exactly true yet, but in my first impression, this is my favorite war movie since Saving Private Ryan. And there have been quite a few great war movies since then, but this one really, really hit me in the jugular and really is awesome. Now, it stars the two British soldiers, and that's who we're following this entire movie. Dean Charles Chapman of Game of Thrones, I believe, as well as George McKay, who I'm not familiar, but I know he was in Peter Pan. Now, it follows these two young men, and that's where I say it's shot gloriously, because we are following these two young men the entire movie without any camera cuts. It's a tracking shot throughout the entire movie. Now, it seems like kind of like a gimmick, right? You're like, oh, okay, it's a gimmick. That's going to get a lot of buzz. Okay. I got to tell you, gimmick or not, it's freaking masterful on what they were able to do here. The technical aspect, the technical achievement by following these guys through these trenches, through barbed wire, where they're going, and oh my goodness, is it just harrowing and nail-biting and just an awesome edge-of-your-seat movie. Technically glorious. It's going to win awards after awards. It's going to be something that people are going to try to emulate because it is that good. Now, I say it's a tracking shot for the entire movie. There's at least two tracking shots for the entire movie. One for the first half, and then after a little bit of a sleeping moment there, they wake up and we're back at it again. Okay, so there are two shots in the movie. Now, there could be many more shots that they could disguise. When you pass by an object, when you go into darkness just for a second, when something gets pulled over something gets pulled past the camera, those are places where you can cut. And if you look at movies like Das Boot in the submarine, they make a tracking shot from the end of the ship, one end of the ship to the other end of the ship, but they were dealing with just half of a ship. So they do a little blanket or a little curtain wipe, and that brings you into the next part of the submarine, but you don't know the difference. So there could be plenty of little cuts somewhere in there that you can't catch, but outside of that, it is unbelievable. Because here's the thing: we're following these two guys. We're following the two dudes. We're following them through this, and we're a part with them. We are along for this journey right next to them. So it really puts you right into it, and you're just with them the entire time, learning about them, feeling for them, getting to know them, and then you have that sympathy and the empathy. You want them to succeed. You want them to get out of this. It's really awesome. Now, as war movies go, it's violent, right? War is hell. And unlike Saving Private Ryan, I didn't find the violence to be gratuitous, okay? You're not seeing people get exploding and losing limbs and having their bellies hang out and crying for their mama and all the horrible things that come with war. You're seeing the after effects because the enemy has kind of pulled back a bit and they're going through enemy lines and they're being very careful, they're being very slow, and it's very scary in that way. But what you're seeing is the after effects of war. You're seeing the death and decay. You're seeing horses and cows and dogs that are killed. You're seeing dead bodies washed up in the water, civilians and soldiers. You're seeing people, they're stepping on dead bodies, over dead bodies, through dead bodies. You're seeing craters that are caused by massive explosions with dead bodies imprinted into the ground. It's quite remarkable. And like my buddy Paul had a problem with it because it is a bit, it's a bit gross, but again, I don't think it's gratuitous. It doesn't hang on the images for too long. And at the same time, you do see a lot of, loss of limbs. You do see a lot of people with missing things when they go into a tent and you see dead bodies or people who are, struggling to survive, struggling to cling on to life. So there are some moments that are a little like, oof, that's tough. But that's war, right? You got to have that imagery, otherwise you lose that impact of what war really is. I can't say enough about this movie. The characters are amazing. I don't even know them, and I absolutely love them. You have a couple other characters throughout the movie that you're going to know. Colin Firth is in earlier in the movie as one of the colonels or generals, I believe, general. And I knew his voice, couldn't picture him right away, but it was Colin Firth, as well as Mark Strong, a regular with Sam Mendes lately. And the last person they're going to deliver the message to, I'm not going to tell you who it is because it was a nice surprise. And I didn't see his name in the credits on IMDb. So I'm going to leave that to you and let you find that yourself because it was a pleasant surprise. Ultimately, amazing movie. If you like war movies, you're going to love it because it's got everything you need. I mean, obviously, it's a beautiful looking movie. You have a lot of violence. You have a lot of action. You have a lot of death. You have a lot of, all the things that you need to make up a necessary good war movie. But ultimately, what I love about it was that you were really involved with these characters because they don't let up. You're on them. You're with them the entire time. So you feel it with them. And it's really, really harrowing and nail-biting and thought-provoking. It's got everything going for it. So no wonder it's winning everything at the Golden Globes. And it's going to win a lot of awards at an Oscar time. It's an amazing movie. So if you like war movies, go see it. If you have a hard time stomaching the bitterness of war, then maybe stay away from it. But for a technical aspect, if you're a filmmaker, go watch this movie, learn from it. It is awesome. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and like the J. Craig over here. And don't forget, war is hell.
It's the J. Craig Movie Review. You watch till the end. Thanks, like, and subscribe.